From incompetence in government to outright indecency, the deputy leader of the British opposition party, Angela Rayner, finds herself at the centre of yet another storm. This time, the controversy stems from a sordid, sexist briefing by an unnamed Conservative MP, suggesting she deliberately crosses and uncrosses her legs in Parliament to distract Boris Johnson. The comparison to Sharon Stone's infamous scene in *Basic Instinct* was not just misogynistic but emblematic of the depths to which political discourse has sunk. And yet, amid the backlash, this debacle has overshadowed far more pressing issues, including Labour's housing crisis promises and their glaring contradictions. The briefing, published in a Sunday newspaper, sparked immediate outrage. Rayner herself dismissed the claims as pathetic and misogynistic, and rightly so. But in an explosive live TV interview with Piers Morgan, the controversy took a sharp turn. Morgan, never one to mince words, used the opportunity to probe deeper into Labour's policies, exposing inconsistencies and contradictions that left Rayner floundering. Labour's flagship housing policy, a promise to build 1.5 million homes over the next Parliament, took centre stage. On paper, it's a bold proposal, designed to address the chronic housing shortage gripping the UK. But when Morgan pressed Rayner on the details, particularly the feasibility of achieving such an ambitious target, her responses were riddled with contradictions. Local councils, tasked with implementing Labour's vision, have already labelled the plan unrealistic, citing logistical challenges, funding gaps, and bureaucratic red tape. Labour's numbers, critics argue, don't add up, and the discrepancy between lofty promises and practical realities has left voters sceptical. Morgan didn't stop there. In what became the interview's most shocking moment, he revealed a statistic that out of every 7 homes Labour plans to build, 5 could be allocated to migrants. This revelation sent shockwaves through the studio and beyond, igniting a fierce debate about immigration, resource allocation, and Labour's priorities. For many, it underscored a growing perception that Labour is out of touch with the needs of long-term residents who have been waiting for housing for years, fueling resentment and disillusionment. Rayner's response, though impassioned, failed to quell the outrage. At one point, she appeared to contradict herself, claiming there's already plenty of housing in the UK while simultaneously acknowledging a housing crisis. This bewildering inconsistency didn't go unnoticed. Social media erupted in criticism, with viewers accusing her of being out of her depth and Labour of making promises they can't possibly deliver. The fallout from the migrant housing controversy has been swift and brutal. Labour's credibility on housing, a cornerstone of their platform, has taken a severe hit. Years of unfulfilled promises have already eroded public trust, and this latest controversy has only deepened voter disillusionment. As the party scrambles to contain the damage, questions about their ability to balance competing priorities remain unanswered. This issue is not just about housing, it's a microcosm of broader societal tensions. On one side, there's sympathy for migrants fleeing conflict and seeking better opportunities. On the other, there's growing resentment among native Britons who feel overlooked and marginalised. Labour's handling of this delicate balancing act will likely determine their political fortunes in the next election. The media's role in amplifying these controversies cannot be overstated. Piers Morgan's relentless questioning exposed Labour's weaknesses but also highlighted the pitfalls of sensationalism in political discourse. While the media's job is to hold power accountable, the focus on scandals and personal attacks often overshadows substantive policy discussions. In Rayner's case, the sexist briefing and its fallout have distracted from Labour's housing strategy, leaving voters questioning whether any party is capable of addressing the UK's pressing issues. The sexism directed at Rayner is a stark reminder of the challenges women face in politics. The suggestion that her appearance or behaviour could be used to undermine her credibility is not just offensive but emblematic of a broader problem. Women in politics are often unfairly scrutinised and held to different standards than their male counterparts. This not only discourages women from entering public life but also diminishes the quality of political discourse. Yet, even as Rayner defends herself against these attacks, Labour's housing policy remains under scrutiny. The promise to build 1.5 million homes is ambitious, but without a clear plan for funding and execution, it risks becoming another empty pledge. Local governments, already stretched thin, are expected to bear the brunt of implementation. Many have voiced concerns that Labour's targets are disconnected from the realities of infrastructure challenges and planning regulations. Without their support, even the most well-intentioned policies are doomed to fail. The controversy also raises important questions about immigration and resource allocation. Balancing the needs of migrants with those of long-term residents is no easy task, but Labour's handling of the issue has left many feeling alienated. Critics argue that their policies inadvertently pit different groups against one another, fostering division and resentment. Supporters, however, contend that a humane approach to immigration requires addressing migrants' basic needs, including housing. Labour's ability to navigate this complex terrain will be critical in the months ahead. As the dust settles, one thing is clear: Labour has a lot of work to do to regain public trust. Grand promises are no longer enough. Voters are demanding transparency, accountability, and realistic solutions to the challenges facing the UK. Whether Labour can rise to the occasion remains to be seen. Piers Morgan's explosive interview with Angela Rayner has left an indelible mark on British politics. It has exposed the fault lines in Labour's housing strategy and reignited debates about immigration, misogyny, and media sensationalism. For Rayner and her party, the road ahead will be anything but easy. The question now is whether they can turn this controversy into an opportunity to prove their mettle, or whether it will become yet another chapter in the long history of unfulfilled political promises.